questions?
Coach, if you could just kind of talk about the difference, what happened in that second half? What did Louisville do defensively to kind of get you guys out of rhythm after having the hot shooting start?
Louisville didn't have as much to do with our second half offense as our guards. We didn't share the basketball. To have 2 assists and 10 turnovers in one half is just can't do that. You can't do that at home. You can't do it on the road. The first half we shared the ball. We had 7 assists and 16 turnovers. That's embarrassing. So you just can't do that. We did not play team basketball in the second half, and the result is you get outscored by a significant margin.
Just to kind of like follow up on that, was it just mostly like your 2 guards, like making that choice?
We had more than 2 guards.
Well, yes, but like, was it more so stuff that you were seeing from their defense to kind of force you into this?
No, it had nothing to do with their defense. Their defense is solid, but it had to do with us. That's our fault. I'm the head coach. It's my fault. So Louisville's a good team. It's a tough place to play, but that's on us. You can't have 2 assists and 10 turnovers anywhere in one half of basketball. You have to share the ball. First half we shared it. We got whatever shot we wanted. We kicked it out. We made threes. We got the ball inside. And in the second half, we just didn't do that.
Andy, what do you feel like Kanipe Ruth brings off the bench for Louisville when he's in the front court? It seems
he was
like
very effective today with his activity. He went to the boards every possession. He got a few tip-ins. Was around the rim. Thought he played very well today. He was very active.
Coach, defensively, it seemed like you did a very good job of frustrating Louisville, staying extended out on shooters in the first half. Second half, they started to get a little bit more open opportunities. Were they doing better getting the ball into the paint, or what was the biggest difference that you saw offensively?
Well, we know they shoot a lot of threes, so we tried to shoot. They were 10 for 35, which is 28%, so they didn't shoot a great percentage. We gave up too many points at the paint and at the rim. We gave 42 points at the paint. That's too many. We did not guard their switches. Some of our guards made mistakes on their switches, which gave them layups. And that's just hard when you give 8 to 10 points on layups. And then we fouled them on 3 or 4 box outs. Look, we shot 9 free throws for the game. The one on Boopy, they called on Boopy, was a flop. And then, but you can't give them 6 to 8 points. And when we're trying to block out, we're just blocking out, and they call fouls on us. And maybe we're somewhere fouls, but that's just 8 free points you give the other team. And in a game against a quality team like this on the road, we have to do a better job of just rebounding the ball. And they were active. They came, and Ruth and Kobe Rogers, they were very active when they played off the bench. It was very impressive of what they did to help their team win.
Kanai, if you can't just talk about you've missed the last several games, with the illness. Just talk about how you're feeling, kind of your ramp up to get back, and then ultimately, getting the double in just 20 minutes, 12 points, 10 boards. How you thought you did today?
I'm just glad to be back. I feel real good. You see out there, I'm playing hard. I'm being me, and I'm doing extra. And just doing whatever I can do to help the team.
Mikal, how did it feel to get him back, and how much difference did he make?
Man, we missed him. Just that energy that he brings off the bench, that fire, the intensity, the grit, and just the will to want to guard and play hard. We definitely missed out on the bench, and it feels so great to have him back.
How much do you guys feel maybe a little behind schedule because of the injuries and different players being out of the lineup from really hitting your stride going into February?
We don't feel behind schedule at all. I feel like we just taking it day by day, game by game, and just staying together. We can't worry about anything else. What happens in the past, stay in the past. Just worry about the next game.
Yeah. Can I, since you only got back to practice, this past week, I'm guessing, what steps did you take to make sure that you were in good enough shape to be able to go back out and, be able to give, I think, 20 minutes tonight? Talk about that process and trying to get back.
As soon as they said I was cleared to work out, I did as much as I could and did extra. I was trying to come out here and show y'all that it ain't no lag. I'm coming out and you're seeing the same Kanai, even better.
Coach joked that you needed to eat a hamburger or two. Did you eat several hamburgers on your way back?
I definitely ate several hamburgers. I like hamburgers anyway, so you want that? You gonna get it back?
Michael, I know you didn't start the game. There was talk about you dealing with some things. I hear you up there sniffling. How are you feeling? It seemed like you even though you weren't feeling your greatest, that last 10 minutes, it really felt like you took a lot on your shoulders to kind of close the show. So how are you feeling, and just your thoughts on how you played down the stretch?
Obviously, the weather, I'm getting used to this weather. I'm not used to this weather. Florida weather is 80 degrees right now, so I'm struggling. At the end of the game, me and Coach talked about it, especially after that Duke game, man. Just letting the game come to me, letting my teammates eat, getting them involved, getting them open shots, and that just gets me going. And down the stretch, all of my teammates, the coach was like, hey, man, take it over. Take over. It's takeover time now. Do you. And, just them having that trust in me and, having that trust in him and that bond with Coach. Me and Coach are always talking on the floor, I'm the coach on the floor, and he's the coach. He's the coach, but I'm the coach on the floor. I have to be that other side of it. That's what they want me to do, man. Those last 5 minutes is go make a play, and I think that's what I did tonight. Although I turned it over a little bit, I need to fix that on my end. That is unacceptable on my end to my standard, but we're going to get better.
For either one of you, they obviously started hot, hit 5 threes in the first few minutes. A lot of those threes seemed open. Seemed like you guys kind of clamped down. What was maybe the switch that flipped for you guys defensively?
We just had to wake up. I felt like we were flat. We didn't have a bouncing out step. And then once we found the energy, found what we needed, and picked up. And, we get the energy on offense from defense. So once we pick that up and it start going on both ends, it start clicking.
Did the 86 team talk to you guys after? Did they come in the locker room? What does it mean to have, first and foremost, a standard set like that when you have past national championships and guys who've played at the highest level, and also just kind of what was their message to you guys afterwards?
Yeah, it's great, and it's a blessing, to be able to have that team come in the locker room and say what they said. They set the standard for what we expect as a team and what we want to achieve as a team, winning that national championship in 86. They just tell us to, stay with it, man, stay grounded, stay together. And like I said, it's truly an honor just because we're following their footsteps and we're trying to get to where they got to, and they achieved, the ultimate goal, and that's win the national championship, and that's what we're trying to do as well.
That one big issue from the game Monday at Duke was just like the lack of physicality. Could you describe how the coaches tried to get you all to, I guess, step it up in that department this week? I'm heading into this game.
That's after that game I got back, and then I helped set the standard, and then the standard is the standard, and once it start, the energy is contagious, So once we start all hitting the standard, that's when we knew we was ready.
PK mentioned something on his radio show this week where he felt like he was putting on like his assistant coach's hat again this week. Did that kind of like look any different for you all, just kind of like versus like how he goes about like a normal practice?
It definitely fired us up. We had a really, really good week of practice, especially coming off that loss. I think, us just coming together as a squad and, we knew what we had to correct. We knew what we had to do coming into this game to win this game. And like I said, that week of practice was just an emphasis on, man, be us, be physical, and just like I said, just be us, man. The standard's the standard, and we did not play to the standard on Monday, and definitely a great bounce back game today.
Kanai, if you don't want to share, that's obviously totally fine. But what was the illness you were dealing with?
I'll pass on that question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
proud of our guys for how they responded to what happened the other night, down in Durham. They responded exactly how I thought they would. Just didn't blink, didn't panic, nothing. Just went back to work, dusted themselves off, got up, attacked practice. We're on the details of the scouting report, stuck together, didn't blink, and played their butt off today. I think our bench was phenomenal. I mean, I think they said our bench outscored them 6 million to something, and it's a little inflated because, Kel came off the bench and had 20, but still, I mean, we'd still outscored them by a lot. Bench-wise, I thought Kobe was really good, did his job, did what we asked him to, what he does, he did. Kenai Roots was phenomenal. He's just, whatever his nickname is, K9, like that's apropos because he's a dog, man. He's a dog. You guys know. Him and Javon played together a lot. We knew we had a big challenge on the backboard, big dude inside, and then they crash. We knew making a miss was one thing, but then, rebounding, we really needed guys outside our fives to rebound because they were going to be in a wrestling match inside. And I just can, I could just see right now in my head, Javon going up above the trees, popping the ball. Kenai going up above the trees, popping the ball. Ryan Conwell in scrums for the ball on loose balls after they were tipped. I see one time, I remember one time Kel goes up. I mean, like above the trees, pop. It was a team commitment on the backboard. And after getting our butts kicked in that area the other day, I was really, really glad to see that. I thought Zoo gave us great minutes off the bench. He's really, as you guys know, endeared himself to this fan base just because of his grit and how he just reckless abandon. He just throws his body around. And I love when he gets rebounds and everybody yells Zoo, or if he dives into the cheerleaders or whatever. So I thought our bench gave us a really, 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 really big boost. And I'm just proud of our guys, how they responded. SMU's a good team, very, very difficult to guard. Number 5, I don't know what his stat line is, but he was a big focal point on the scouting report. Javon and Kenai, I would say, guarded him the majority of the game, but everybody had their turn. He's a matchup problem in a one-on-one. Thought we did a good job there. Obviously, number 2 is one of the most, dynamic, go-get-it scoring guards. Just thought we did a really good job. I thought our post defense got better in the second half, made a couple adjustments. The big kid was really hurting us at halftime, so our guys did a good job adjusting.
You touched on it just then about the post defense, but what changed after the bad start?
Man, so a couple things. One, our process was really good offensively, except for a couple turnovers. I'll have to watch the tape, but I remember going over to the bench going, we're getting really, really good looks, right? I mean, and weren't hitting them. We weren't shooting the type of shots we did the other day at Duke with 600 people draped on us. We were trusting the process, moving the ball, and generating good looks, and they just weren't going in. And at the other end, they were throwing it in. It was like bang, 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 bang. I'm like, holy crap. Our guys, we've had some times this year when that's happened and we didn't respond the right way. We were in the huddle at the first media, and I just said, guys, besides a couple turnovers, our process is really good offensively. We were a little bit too sticky in our gaps because we were so worried about their driving and one-on-one, so we were probably a little too tight. They were just spraying it for quick kick threes, and that thing wasn't touching anything but net. It was like bang, bang, bang. Made a couple adjustments there. He didn't panic, chipped away, and cut it to 3 at half. And I thought our defense the last 10 minutes of the half and then the second half was, I don't know, maybe as good as it's been all year.
Pat, coming back off the illness, were you surprised with the energy Kenai was able to play with and how he was able to sustain it?
No, it doesn't surprise me. That's just who he is. He's a high energy dude. That means he's going to play hard play well all the time. But I'm telling you, he is going to empty the tank. He gave a fist a couple times. I looked over. I'm like, I don't want to take him out, and we had to get him out and get him up low and get him back in there. Actually even called a timeout one time so I didn't have to take him out. That's how valuable he was. Just really gave us a lot of courage. As you know, he just brings toughness and grit, and did a great job for us tonight.
Coach Enfield talked about how, in the scout they were, kind of determined to kind of sit on that three-point line and kind of get out on your shooters. It felt like as the game went along, your team found counters to it, getting into the paint, back cuts, back doors, beating them down in transition. It felt like against Duke that was something that they started to do a lot of.
Well,
talk about just
here's
the adjustments.
Thing. You want to talk about the difference between Duke, our offense against Duke, and our offense tonight? We passed the freaking ball. Pass it. I mean, we were trying to shoot our way out of trouble against Duke instead of execute our way out of trouble. Like, we want everything you just said on every possession. We want paint force. We want drives. We want cuts. We didn't have a chance to do any of that because we just jacked it. Pass it. I thought we did that tonight. Played connected, moved the ball. It's going to come back to the guys that we want to have the ball and take the most shots. We all know who we wanted to shoot the most shots and get all that stuff. Pass it. Pass the freaking ball. I thought we played more connected, moving the ball. Process. You guys, I'm sure you hate my coach speak and all that. Process. Process isn't with 24 seconds on the shot clock, shoot a heavily contested yank three. If you get the 6 on the shot clock, we can get that same shot anytime. I'm having PTSD right now. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get ticked off. We actually played well tonight. So,
Pat, Michael talked about having a discussion with you and it being along the lines of letting the game come to him, especially after Monday. In what ways have you had to kind of recalibrate him, getting him back in the lineup these last few games?
Yeah, I mean, he's so dynamic, man. And he's got such courage. He gives his teammates courage. Ryan Conwell's that same way. When stuff's going awry sometimes, one of his true gifts is his belief, right? I got it, and Ryan's got a lot of that too. That's great. He's one of the reasons he's great, and he channels that, but yeah, I think just trusting the process of the offense. Heck yes, I want the ball back in his hands. I mean, you see what happens late in the game? That dude. Get out of the way. And, I just loved Ryan's, all those guys. I stunk. We all stunk the other day. Everybody's response, his included, even the not starting. Kel's good, coach. We got our butts kicked, and everybody's getting sick. I'm sick. Everybody's sick. So poor kid can't catch a break. He gets sick this week. So after we lose to Duke, we're gonna have freaking football practice, and it's one of those where it's clear the board, compete. I don't care who starts. Well, he gets sick. Right? So he can't practice for those 2 days. So it's hard for me as a coach to be telling all those guys, football, go compete, get after it, and then all of a sudden, poor kid's sick, and then I'm not going to put him in the starting lineup after those guys lost some teeth and, had their eyes poked out and broke a few fingers and all that stuff. So, and when I go to him and talk to him about it, Coach, you don't even have to say nothing. I'm good. That's who he is.
Your point about not passing the ball against Duke, Coach Enfield was in here, and he was, I guess, the most frustrated with his team only getting 2 assists in the second half. I'm just wondering.
Tell him to join the club. I was just there. Hopefully, I'm walking out of that room. If he's walking in, I'm sure. But yeah, no, I don't know. They're really good.
My question to you was just could you speak to maybe how you were able to take them out of the flow in the second half of defensively? What did you do?
You we're just good in our stuff and our defensive principles. Like 2 is a bear to guard, like as good of a go-get-it bucket getter as you're going to find. 5, same thing. Like that cat can go get it. And then, you know, kind of like the 3 Musketeers, if you will, Xavier reference a little bit. Number 0 is hard to keep out of the paint as well, you know. And then they got that, you know, the big monster inside. And, you know, we knew we were going to have to change some stuff up, do some different things in ball screen coverage so they couldn't kind of get us, you know, like you got to on really, really, really good players. They're not easy to guard. They're really, really, really difficult to guard. And, you know, I thought our guys did a pretty good job defensively today.
Back row. I thought, you know, sometimes it just takes one guy to make a play, and I thought Kanai's follow dunk, everybody's body language all of a sudden changed. And it's silly, but sometimes that's all it takes. And how big is something like that? One guy making a play in any situation to kind of get everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how sports is, right? Like, I call him the catalyst. He's like our catalyst. He can really ignite us and get us going, and that's something we missed while he was out. Just his, like, charisma, just the way he carries himself. Like, I told you, like, he's a soft-spoken kid, and it took me most of last year to be able to make him smile. Like, he had this, like, he thought he'd be serious with me all the time. Every time we talk now, I'll, like, make him smile, and he lights up a room. But he just brings it every day. Every day you can count on that dude just emptying the tank and everything he does. So you're right, that was a huge play. They ignited the Yum Roar, really gave our guys a pep in their step and a bunch of energy. And then the one in the second half in front of our bench, I have no idea how he made that. It wasn't a dunk, but, like, I forget who threw the alley-oop, and it was like it came in with some heat. Like, it was hairy. Like, it was coming in, and he, like, caught it and then, like, manipulated it and then finished it. I was like, that to me was even more of an amazing play than the dunk. He just did a great job kind of igniting us today.
Hey, Coach, over here. I guess delicate as it might be for their psyche when you're down, 10 early, was it harder, or how did you adjust in the second half when they finally get even but couldn't get over the hump for that one stretch?
Yeah, it was. There was that little spell there for a while. I was like, man, we're a little stagnant on offense, and I was a little worried because that's the time when you really wanted to go and expand the lead, and then it just stayed nip and tuck for a while, and they might even taken the lead. Did they take the lead by 2? And it was just we're probably trying to get a little bit too tricky on offense. We were trying to and then I got really, really, really smart. And I gave it to Michael Brown and got out of the way. And that sort of helped a little bit. Isaac made some big shots for us. And they were shots that, guys got Isaac shots. Isaac couldn't get many good shots the other day because we were just yanking it before he had the opportunity to. But, made winning plays. And when you guard like that and rebound like that, you're always going to have a chance, and it allows us to do what we do best and get out in transition. So we got to be a try-hard defensive team. We don't have crazy length and elite athleticism. We don't have the defensive player of the year like we had last year. So our defense has to be try-hard. Like, we got to be on it. We have to be assignment impeccable. We have to play with great intensity. And I thought our guys did that tonight.
And what did it mean to you to be able to bring the guys in from the 86 team back into the locker room, at this point in the season too, to be able to have some people that have, they've been to the mountaintop, to be able to come talk to your team at this point in the season?
It was so cool, like to the point where maybe for the first time in my career, I didn't really even address the team. We went in there, we did the normal thing we do, and then they all start coming in. Milt talked to the team. Robbie Valentine talked to the team. And at the end of it, I was like, I couldn't have said anything better. Exactly what you guys said. And they just talked about, there's some stuff I'll just leave between them and the team. But they did talk about the love and the brotherhood that they have for each other. And I think all really, really good teams have that. You hear me talk about the power of the unit all the time. It's based on the most common, the uncommon commitment to the guy next to you. Love, right? Love. And, you know, what Robbie said was, he goes, we talk to each other every day for the last, whatever that is, how many years? 40 years? Every day. And he goes, and he told those guys, like, this, what you're doing right now, sitting in those stalls, in that locker room, look at the guy right of you, look at the guy next to you. It will never be like this again. When you go on, you play professionally and all that stuff, because I mean, I know this is a version of professional sports, but like that, the sanctity of that locker room, embrace that, right? Cherish that. And then they just talked about like how proud they were and how they fought for the city of Louisville. Why it mattered to them to like a cause. You know, you as a coach, you're always trying to find a cause, right? Last year's cause was the revival. Like those guys, like, they wanted it so freaking bad for this city because they knew where they were at, and they knew that it was a little beaten down, and you know the clouds were over the head, and they had that cause, and our guys have that too. But the message that those guys sent resonated. This place is special. That name is special. This mystique, this history, this do it for each other and do it for this city. It was an awesome message. I didn't say anything. I said, bring it in. And we took pictures, and I hugged them, and it was awesome. Champions. I was Johnny's age when they won the national championship. And that's when I, like, fell in love with basketball, right around that time. And when I see Milt Wagner, I'm like, it's freaking Milt Wagner, you know? Pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
ESPN had a reel about your son shooting the three. He shooting the three, and he kept shooting, and the Duke crowd was just praising your son. That motivates you as a dad, seeing your son like that on national television, ESPN.
I'm so blessed. It's not even funny. Like, are you kidding me? Josh Hurd lets my son be in the practice facility every day. He wants to leave school and come here and be around Javon Hadley and Michael Brown and Kenai Roots and Kobe Rogers. And he's got all these big brothers that teach him cuss words, but teach him the right freaking like I'm so blessed.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and hopefully he appreciates the charmed life he lives. Like, he's shooting at Cameron Indoor Stadium in front of the Cameron Crazies. He's making baskets, and they're going crazy. Yeah. Like, and then he sees the reality. He sees life ain't good all the time. We got freaking butts kicked by 30, and that's a locker room you don't want to be in.
Yes,
you don't want to be in that locker room. Yes. Stand right there, son, because this is life. You get kicked in the teeth sometime. You fall down, you get your butt kicked, you dust yourself up, and you get up. I'm raising my son through what I coach and teach my team. It's pretty cool. He talks a lot like Thomas Carr now, which drives me freaking nuts. But anyway, I'm pretty lucky.
That was amazing.